Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a kind of a combination pattern, a flag pattern as well as a news trade coming off of this little pullback that we're getting here on the bonds. Now the bonds, I'm long right now at 165.05, and I'm just looking for a two-contract trade, just all in, all out, and we're looking at 165.16 is the area of interest. Now the reason I'm entering in a little bit early, you can see that this is setting up to be a relatively nice-looking flag. We got that strong push up off the news and we're flagging out. Now we're starting to break out of that flag. So you could trade this as a flag as well. The reason I like it a little bit earlier is if you notice this news candle that we had here, price is coming down and testing that level to the tick and they can't break through it. And you can see them just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing right off of that level. And I like how this kind of stacked up candles look to the upside. So it looks really nice to me. So I'm long at 165.05. Only two contracts just because the stop size, I mean, yeah, you could go down and drop a stop right here, but the flag technically hasn't broken yet. So because of that, and because of the fact that we're entering in early, the stop really has to go down a ways underneath this news candle down here, and that's a relatively large stop. So because of that, I really don't want to float that big of a stop, so I'm just going to go underneath here at 30. Ooh, I don't want that many contracts. Let's only do that two. Now, because the flag technically hasn't been broken yet, and we may still continue down, I'm going to give this a buffer of a decent amount. 2 ticks isn't quite enough in this case, so we'll go 5 instead, just to give it a nice distance underneath the EMA and give it the room that it needs to kind of work out here. So looking for the trade to go up 165.05, just taking all in, all out at 165.16, and just kind of looking for this area to hold in general, but more so waiting for this flag to break out, and that'll give us even more confirmation. If you want, you could probably even add off of that, and just looking for continuation back up to hit that 65.16 and to take us out as our profit targets. So if we can get that one filled, we're looking at 65.05 up to 16. So we're looking at 11 ticks on this move higher here overall, which on the bonds pays pretty well. So we'll give it a little bit of time. The bonds are typically, at least generally, a pretty slow market. So we'll let it kind of do its thing, but we'll be back in a little bit and see if we can hit that 65.16. All right, we're coming in 1 tick away from our target here, 165.15, and oh wow, that's unusual for the bonds. It actually ticked right through us. Very, very fast move right there at 65.16 up to 17. So we got our target filled. Beautiful move to the upside. Only 2 contracts, but the way that the bonds kind of work in terms of tick costs, even though it's 11 ticks on 2 contracts, they pay really, really well. So we ended up with $687.50 just on this trade with 2 contracts. So the bonds pay very, very well. It's one of those markets where you don't have to have a big account size to potentially make a decent amount of profit. But just a beautiful example of kind of a combination pattern where you've got that flag, and we did, because we were entering a little bit earlier on that news candle, we did have to give it a little bit of a bigger buffer. But once it broke out, that even gave you more reason to go to the upside again. So just a gorgeous kind of combination pattern of a flag as well as a news trade, just a retest of that news candle and a bounce right back off it again. So awesome move up, $687.50 on the trade. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com, and as always, we'll catch you next time.